So yeah, today's going to be a lot more unscripted because I haven't had that much of a chance to practice this, but we'll try to figure things out as we go along. So what's the lesson plan? So yesterday we did, we set up the server and the client, and we stopped at adding the Mongoose persistent layer, and that's you can see that with how we go to here, and let's say SunburstJS. Oh God, I hope this works. Okay. So yeah, this is what we did yesterday, right? And everything that we clicked, when we refresh again, it doesn't persist. So we're gonna try to persist that to the database layer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all good. I was also looking at your voting app. So this is the one that you did for Free Code Camp, and it's actually very good. Huh?
It's rough and ready, but
hey, it works. I mean, that's good enough for me. Yeah,
it looks has a passport and all that. So
yeah, it looks nice too. So that's really good. I like all this stuff. So we'll try and get as far as we can to recreate this functionality of creating polls and voting and especially routing. So I'm going to use React Router to navigate between the things here. How did you do this, by the way, if you didn't have React Router?
Pardon?
How did you do the navigation if you did not have React Router?
Oh no, that one is done without a framework. So
yeah. So how did you do all this? I'm just curious what you ended up going with to.
Oh, it's just basic Express, and I think I used handlebars then for the view engine.
Oh, you use handlebars. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so I found handlebars very easy. Well, easy enough. This is like just writing the HTML code, so it's easy to.
Yeah. You
can split up the things like the headers and all that, and just load what you want. There was a couple of tricky parts. Was like loading like CSS files and JS files. I had to try and figure out, but I came across a post on Stack Overflow, and someone that showed a real handy way for loading different files, different say CSS files for different pages, which helped a lot. But handlebars is handy enough.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean that's definitely a useful thing to keep around. But we'll just use this as a chance to learn React and the React way to do things.
I'm at recreating that again in Vue.
Yeah.
So now I want to do it in React and.
Yeah. The more practice you get, the better. All right. So I might need your help as I go along to this. So basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start where we left off yesterday. With an app that works but doesn't persist, right? Because we don't have any MongoDB layer. I have my MongoDB server running already. It's in here. So basically, as you know, you just do Mongoose.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah,
awesome.
That's how I started when having
okay.
MongoDB.
Yep.
I use MLab now because it saves me having to do this business of starting MongoDB, and it's easier to look at the database on MLab. Rather than having to start on Mongo.
Yeah, the tutorials that I followed when I learned this didn't have MLab because I think MLab was relatively new, so I'm just used to this now. But I've seen the MLab interface. It's very nice.
Very handy to use. Yeah, rather than
I think I have it. Compass. Okay, you know what? Let's try it. Right, I'm gonna kill my session, and then let's go Compass. Is this what you use?
No, I just go straight into MLab. It'd be on
oh, you go straight into MLab. Okay. Tell you what,
you'd have to sign up.
Yeah. I know what you mean. We could do that. Okay. So how do I do this? Let's see.
I'm going to type MLab here now and see what comes up.
Right. Okay. I think that's yeah. I like doing this with you because you're helping me think about a better way to do things. Okay. So Heroku, open. So yeah, let's requisition an mlab instance, right? So I'm going to go over to my dashboard. I'm going to look for Intense Garden. I have a lot of apps. Okay, I'm going to go to Intense Garden, and then I'm going to. I mean, hopefully this is similar to how you do things because.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to add an mlab instance in a free sandbox.
It just saves you having to always remember to open up this MongoDB on your computer.
To be sure.
When you want to look at
how do I grab the God? How do I grab the? So I've actually been using SQL for the last 4 to 5 months. I'm actually quite out of date with this. Okay. So I need a user, right? I need to add a user. So
add a user, yeah.
I'm just gonna add a random user, and I'm going to say MongoDB. Not now, and this is my connection. Okay, so that's good. That's good. Yeah, and we're going to paste that in. This is not secure, but whatever. I made my user and password ABC. You should not show this to other people, by the way. That's a very bad security practice. Okay, so the other thing we're going to do is we're also going to add Mongoose, which is the ORM. Oh, I use Yarn. Oh, okay. So the problem when using Yarn on an npm database is it's gonna npm directory is it's gonna add a Yarn lock that's different from your package lock, and it's generally not a good idea to have both. So since I use Yarn here, I'm just gonna delete my package lock. It doesn't really matter. Just have one lock. It's not a good idea to have two locks because npm does not know about Yarn. Yarn doesn't know about npm. Anyway, so.
Understood.
So we added Mongoose, and now I'm going to head over to the server and try and set that up. Whatever, const Mongoose equals require Mongoose. By the way, you can see how are you using? Do you know about Prettier?
Prettier.
Yeah. You can see how when I type random things and I delete. Let's say I'm just going to delete a bunch of things and I'm going to change. My quote marks, right? Prettier is a way to help you auto format your code. So see, I have missing semicolons here, and I have inconsistent spacing here. I got this empty space. When I hit save, it's going to format everything nicely for me.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So how you do is you have Prettier. So it's a VS Code extension, and it's just called Prettier. You install this, and then you have the settings. Where's the settings? And over in the settings, you just say format unsaved equals true. So that if you look at Prettier, it's going to tell you how to do that. But that's all I did to set it up. Very simple. It saves you a lot of time and it looks nicer. Okay, cool. So we got Mongoose. I don't really recall the next step. I think it's something like mongoose.connect. I'm just going to refer to my notes. Yeah. So mongoose.connect. What is okay? So
mongoose.connect, and then you.
Yeah, exactly. So I copy in the URI that I have from earlier. Okay, and so that's connected, and then. I'll have an API that says app.get API. Click. So press. Okay, so what are we going to do here? We're going to say with every time someone sends a API. Send the request to API click, we're going to increment something by 1. So we're gonna need a model as well. That's what Mongoose needs. So yeah, I'm gonna have a pre-prepared example here called click model, and that literally just has something called counter, and it's going to increment by whatever it is. I think that's right. And then, so for click model, whenever someone hits this API route, API click, we're going to essentially do all this. So I'm just going to copy it over and we'll talk about it. So it's going to console log whatever, and then it's going to say new click model with the request. I'm actually going to ignore this. All right, so let me see. Because one thing I want to do later on. So in my preparation example, I only had one click counter, but I'm going to have multiple click counters now. So let's see, var click num clicks equals await click model dot find. And okay, what do I need over here? So I'm gonna have to refer to the Mongoose docs. I don't remember what the API looks like. Let's see. Let's find. Okay, this finds fires after the post find hook. You know what? So, do you know how the find function works?
I'm opening up now as my vote app, and I post
that. Okay, so I think that makes sense. And you know what? We're going to console log it. So we'll see what comes back, because I'm not entirely confident of what comes back. And then we're going to update the new click model. Update. Cert.
Yeah, all I have is a new poll.find, an empty object, then your comma, function poll, if throw and then I render what.
Right. Okay, so what I actually want is find one. So there's all these very nice find functions. I can find by ID. I can find. So yes. You know what? Let's do find by ID. Yeah. So I mean, we're gonna have basically what I really want to have is an array of name and poll and counter one, and then poll two, poll three, and the name is essentially the ID, and the counter can vary based on number of clicks, right? So what I essentially want to do is something like this.
I have find by ID as well.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm thinking about doing, and all I need is an example to set things up. I guess.
Yeah, the find by ID takes an object with the ID and the name of that, like I have this poll, and then another function or poll.
Right. So, okay. Where do I give the options for upsert? Okay. Find by ID. Yeah, exactly.
Landing the
Let's see, what is the update option? Right, okay, updates the actual object. Got it. Okay, cool. So I think I have it. We might not even need a click model. Let's just try and see if this. Yeah, we need a click model. So click model. Okay, click model dot find one. So if someone, okay, so basically if someone's clicking something, I need to find by ID. I'm just going to give it a hard-coded ID. And
ID.
ID, and then counter one. So that's going to tell it to upsert, which is update or insert. It creates the object if it doesn't exist, because right now the database is empty, so we need to insert it if it doesn't exist. At least that's what I think we're doing. Okay, I don't like coding without too much testing of stuff, so I'm gonna just kick it off and we'll see what happens. Probably fails horribly. Yep. Click model, unexpected identifier. Why? I already have it here. Does this make sense? Okay. My click model isn't working. Any ideas why? Click model.
Well, if I was looking by find by ID and update, in my find by ID, see where you have ID.
Mm-hmm.
They go by a underscore ID.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just a name. But sure. It's not the actual issue that I have right now. The actual issue is my thing isn't. Let's see. Click model. I defined my click model up top. Yeah. What's going on here? I don't see any. Yeah, let's see. Click model. All right, I'm just going to go with Mongoose for now and see if that actually runs the thing. What is this unexpected identifier? Oh, okay, because I started using async await and I didn't have an async keyword in there. That's my issue. Let me reverse my form of mistakes. Okay, so now when we hit the API click route, that's unexpected token P in JSON. Okay. Now we hit the let's test the API hello route, right? We know what the hello route tells us. It's supposed to tell us hello from Express123. I guess. All right. And then we're supposed to also have a click route. I think this will crash because we haven't really tested the code at all. No, it's not crashing. Let's see what's going on here. We're on localhost API 5000. All right, let me develop this just without the server. So I'm just gonna run node server.
No worries.
And then when I'm gonna have this. Why is it not? You know what? It's a service worker. Oh God, I need to kill my service worker. I'm just not used to service workers. They're just.
No, I haven't come across them before. Only for React.
They're too smart for your own good. I need to kill. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go in incognito mode. So that's just now what was happening was it was loading our service worker even without us telling it. So this is the error that we're running into when we hit the console log, which is post API click, right? And then we got all this stuff, promise library, blah blah blah, cast to object ID, failed for value ID for model click counter. Okay, so we don't have an ID. And so therefore it has, all right, so what it's doing is it's returning num clicks, and then it's saying new update, new click model, and then saying await new update, save, and it's running into an error. So therefore it never sends anything as a response to the Express server, and that's why this is still loading and waiting for us. So right now we probably have to console. We have to figure out what the error is. Load mon server. Okay, so that should give us a whole bunch of errors. So it has unhandled promise rejection. Cast to object ID failed for value ID. So what is this? What is this object ID supposed to be? Okay. See, we're supposed to have a schema that has its own ID. Do you know what's going on?
No, not 100% sure. I would think, could you create the database, even an entry on the database first before you go for the find, I suppose.
Well, I have the database.
Yeah, but is there an entry on it already? No.
I don't think do I need one? God.
Well, see,
you think I need one?
This for the first time.
So I strongly
put in one if you want as well on. And then
okay. I strongly think I don't need one, but let's try it out. All right, so we got a collection. We got documents, and I'm going to add a document. And we're going to use the document that we specified.
Yeah, so.
Okay, they want us to use quotes around field names and values. Okay, so it's got an ID. I think that kind of works out. Oh, I didn't save it. Oh, I did save it. So that's the first document that we had, and we need to find this, right? So, all right, let's do a very basic find operation. Find. And then I'm going to just comment all this out and then rest.json. And I'm also going to console log it. I already have it here. Okay, so that's restarting, and we're going to go over to the API. And it's blank. Why is it blank? I have a collection called click model here. I define click counter. So click model. And if I reset it, It's connecting right. So I'm saying click model find, and then it's not returning anything. Why is that?
Click model dot find function error counter. Well, what way is your function look after that?
So click model dot find.
Right. Right. You have to put a function.
Just give me everything, right?
No. You have to put in my click model dot find. You have a function inside it.
Yeah, that's a callback. So.
I have it like click model dot find. Then there's a function error encounter. If error return console log error, if counter res.json counter.length, and then else res.json. 0. I presume you probably need a function in there. Find.
So yeah, at this point, I'm kind of like floating around just because I'm experimenting with new ways to use this API. How do you? Yeah, I'm not really sure how to do this. Okay, so click model name string. Let's follow. So what I like to do here when I have issues like this is just follow the an example I can find more closely. So for example. Okay, so if we just do their basic model, right? It should be this. And literally, oh god. Okay, so here it goes. I'm going to comment all these things out. I have this the cat model, and it should save the cat model for us. So when we go over here, and I look at my collections, I have a new cat model. Okay.
Yeah.
So earlier we were doing something wrong. I'm not sure what we're doing, but we weren't using save for the first in the first instance. But now let me see if I can create something of my own. So let's say I no longer want this cat model, and I just want the click model, which has the same format, right? And I say I want to do, for example, okay, var new click equals new click model, name equals to test, and counter equals to 1 to 3, and I say click dot save, error, press press.json whatever. New data. I'm going to call this the new data. Const new data equals to that. And when I'm going to JSON it back. Where's the JSON? New data. Okay. And I'm going to console log this. I guess that works. the console log's not going to happen just because these are all asynchronous. Should probably send that. Okay, so that should work. So now when I hit this API again, I'm going to refresh. That's going to insert a new counter for me in click model. We're going to see it over here when I hit down. Oh, come on! Why is it not inserting? Oh, because I didn't type it right. Why did I not type it right? Right. Okay. So this is one annoyance with MongoDB, which I actually forgot. They help you pluralize for you. So when you send in click model, it's gonna be alias to click models for the collection, and the model itself is a click model. So this is the test message that we sent in. And if I, for example, if I run it again by just pinging this API again, it's going to create a second entry with the same values. So it's got 2 entries now. So and then if I want to find a click, I'm going to all right. So instead of saying new click, I don't need all this stuff. And if I want to find a click, so that's why we were not able to find stuff earlier on, right? So let me rewrite the code that we were writing earlier. So if we're saying click model.find const all clicks equals click model.find, then we're going to rest.json all clicks as well as console log all clicks. That should also work, and that should just give us all the history of clicks, which is the 2 things that we have that we had just now. So this is the first click, and this is the second click. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So what I wanted to, I was intentionally ignoring you when you were telling me how to use the find. Oh. I hope you don't mind, because I know.
No. I have it done my way, so I just tried to.
Exactly. Like I'm trying to show you how it should be used, which is find without arguments is perfectly fine. You don't always have to follow exactly what the examples give you. And the more you start to understand how these functions work, the sooner you really start to be able to use this on your own instead of just always relying on examples. I know how that feels because I was there myself. So I'm just trying to provide.
Mongo documentation for me now was tricky.
I know. They're all bad. So like I spent the past 4 or 5 months in SQL land, and SQL is equally bad. So I mean, this just takes practice, and that's part of the job. And figuring things out is also part of it. It doesn't feel great when things are going badly, but we all learn. So one thing I wanted to do, so we are able to save new things and we're able to find new things. So really, like, this is a very easy way of creating a counter. So let's make a counter, right? So I'm gonna get rid of. Okay, so we should really just get rid of all this code.
Oh, yeah.
So this gets the clicks, right? Gets all the clicks, and then this is let's have a post click. All right, so let's have a post click, and then we're gonna have post. We don't have a rec.body yet. That's not relevant code, so I'm just gonna delete that as well. And I'm going to say this is a new click. New fonts. New click equals to new click model, whatever, and then I'm going to say await save. Okay, and then I'm going to just console log the new result. So that's a very simple API for adding clicks and then getting back clicks. And obviously we can have reset as well if we want. But I just want to show you how to integrate that with the rest of um, the app. So over here, instead of pinging API hello, well, we can still ping API hello, doesn't matter. But we can also ping fetch click. What's API? Right. So if we just do a fetch, raw fetch like that, and that should give us then this should set the counter for us in in terms of the number of clicks, and then instead of click handler, we're going to do two things. We're going to set the local state, as well as we're also going to fetch API click. And now, because we want to send a post request instead of just a get request, right? Now we want to set a post request when we click. I have to set the method equals post, I think. And that's all I care about. And then I don't really care about anything else. So whatever. I guess I can just have a global synchronous thing. Okay, whatever. Let's see if this works. All right. Blah blah blah. npm run dev. It should launch the thing for me. I need to figure out how to kill the service worker. I really hate the service worker. It hurts more than it helps for now. So that's how you kill the service worker. It just comes with create React app by default. It's just not very helpful for me. Okay, so now when we come on. All right, so you already see something happening here. I just loaded this page and it's already at 2. Why is it already at 2? It's because our number of documents. Yeah, we got 2.
Yeah.
Right. So if I click it, it's got 3. The number of documents, if I refresh, it's gonna go to 3, and it instantly updates here as well. The other thing that to know about your app is that when you click, you should have a network request every single time, right?
Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, these are very sort of basic things. It was kind of touchy there for a while because I didn't know.
Oh, you haven't used MLab before, so it's just a matter of getting it sorted out for yourself.
Oh my god, I was just so rusty, you know. And
it is handier than the MongoDB, though, isn't it?
It's come again.
I'm trying to open it every time.
Yeah, I don't really care, but yes, it is handy. If you do enough of these things, you learn to stop caring, what things happen where, and you just kind of roll with it. Okay, so one thing I'm doing, I don't actually like what I'm doing here. I'm just like, I'm counting by number of documents when really I should be incrementing just the counter itself. So yeah, exactly. So I need to modify this post. Instead of saying save, I need to do the fancier upsert. Upsert is just a fancy way of saying update and insert. Oh, right, where are you? I guess I have to dive into the API docs. Start. Come on. All right. So find one and update, and this is it. I wonder if okay, so and then back to the issue that we had earlier today. Find one and update. Is this where I should find it? I just need one example of using the ID because I'm just not very clear about how the ID works. All right. Right. So find one and update, and then increment points by 5. Got it. Oh, this is MongoDB docs. That's not what I want. Mongoose, find one and update example. There we go. Find one and update the age set. Okay. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do. First of all, okay. Let me just kill all the things that we've been making so far. Just to delete all documents. Because I don't want to see all that mess. We're going to do find and instead of this new stuff, we're going to do find one and update, and I'm going to have the poll name. I'm just going to call that poll one. I'm going to increment. Where's the example? And you don't need this function because this is a callback function that just triggers afterwards. So I guess it's nice to have for reporting errors, but we're just going to avoid that for now, just to keep things simple. Counter by 1, increment that, and then I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to const whatever counter equals to I'm going to call it numclicks. Need a keyboard shortcut for opening and closing that thing, by the way. That's really annoying. Okay, so and then we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to do rest.json and we're going to console log just to make things super clear. Okay, so now everything should still work in the same manner, except
create an extra document.
Except, so now there should be only one document. So when we return these things, we should only find one document. Let me just change all this. And over here, instead of the length, we should just go rest.counter to get the counter. I think that's it. Let's test it out. Okay, so have I run the? I have not run the code, so let's run the server. All right. So it's going to be set. Is it going to dial me? Okay. Cannot read property counter of null. Okay. Why is it null? Why is it null? So it has the click API. The response is null, and that's a problem. Why is the response null? I'm responding with num clicks. And do I have any issues here? Yeah, so it's returning null for me. That's a problem. What does find one and up? And that's because find one and update. Yeah, look at this. This is the issue itself. It says find one and update doesn't return the updated document, which is what I expected. I need to set a property, and the property is supposed to be new equals true. All right. So over here. That's why you should probably read the docs before you do things. But if you read all the docs, you'll never get anywhere.
True.
Why is this not? So, okay, I'm gonna set. It should return. Let's get here. So it's still returning null for me. Over here, and that's a problem.
Has it changed anything on the database itself?
I doubt it. Nope. Yep, nope. Find one and update.
If you have nothing there, is it empty?
What's that?
You can't return find.
Can you say that again? I couldn't hear you.
If the database is empty at the moment, it can't find one and update.
Yeah. So, but I have it set to. Oh God, you're right. I need to set the options for upserting. That's the whole point of doing this thing. I was trying to show you how to do that. So I need to say upsert true. There. Okay. So instead of new, I'm going to say upsert. See, there are all these like magic words that I need to invoke. Do I have to say new true as well? Still doesn't do that. Still doesn't do what I want. Return the modified document rather than the original. That's correct. See, it's supposed to insert if it doesn't exist, right? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. That makes sense, all right.
Oh God. Okay. Upsert example. Googling 101. Upsert true. Mm-hmm. Unique attribute object. I'm trying to just playing it plain. A lot of trial and error here. Do I have any documents here? I should have some documents here, right? That doesn't make sense that I'm not. Ah, look at this. Look at this. This function is a nonsensical function because it doesn't know to use this click model. Ah, God, so dumb. You see what I did there? See how easy it is to like. Okay, so does it update now? It should. No, it doesn't update. Okay, so that wasn't it. Again, I'm trying to. What am I trying to do here? Again, back to the Stack Overflow. Models, company, find one and update. No. I should be able to upsert. Okay, what? Find one and update. Look at query. That's my query. Rec.new data. Upsert true. All right, and then let's see if we can get any errors when this happens, because I'm not sure what's going on here. So error. Console log error and doc. All right, let's see what's going on here. I'm actually using the callback function now. It's not even giving me the error. Do you know what else is happening here? I'm only using the get, so we're editing the post. We're editing the post.
No, because
and we're only.
I wouldn't have done.
Sorry.
See, I would have been done a different approach, because say if you were doing say like the voting app and someone votes, it's like your click. You're updating the click, updating the vote. So what I would have done, I would have been named.
I can't hear you. Your voice just cut out.
I would see
your audio's gone.
When you vote for something, it's like the click.
What's happening?
So I would have been going to my model, and I would have been finding by ID, and then I would have.
Oh, yeah, it's back. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
You said
you're doing a different approach. You're doing a different approach to what I would have done. See, like, if I was voting for something, I would be incrementing it by 1, which is like what you're trying to do with the counter.
Yep.
So I would have used find by ID, and then I would have set the count option.count ++, and then I would have used poll.save. So you're doing it.
Yeah.
You're just doing it slightly. You're doing it different to me, so I would know that way.
I'm trying. Yeah, I know this. I know this way exists. This is why I'm trying to show you. It's a better way because it's one function call, whereas yours you have to find and then you have to save, which is multiple function calls. I've been screwing up multiple times here, and what I just discovered was we've been having issues with the get API, and I've only been doing edits to the post API, and that's a bad idea. So I should be trying to fix the issue with the get API first, and specifically over here, I don't have a rest.counter because I've been returning null. So So really what I should be doing is having an escape hatch. So if, for example, res is not faulty, then I do that. If not, then I'll just do no. And that should at least get us to a rendering app, right? And then we should also be able to click. And that should create the model over here. And that should have a counter of 1. Fantastic. Now it should also, so all the issues that we were facing just now was just because I was confusing between where the source of the error was from. The source of the error was actually from the get API and not from the post API. And we're doing all these like trial and error with the post, and I was getting frustrated because I was doing the wrong thing. So that's a very good learning point in and of itself. Oh God, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing sometimes.
It's harder when you're trying to video it at the same time. So
yeah. Okay, so now I've edited it to increment by 1, right? So now that every time I click on this thing, it should go up, and when it goes up and I refresh here, the counter actually goes up from 1 to 4. This is exactly what we want, isn't it?
That's it, yeah. That's the better way to do it.
All right, I'm going to delete it now. So this is going to be blank. And I just want to prove to you what the concept of an upsert is. So this is blank right now. And if I click, that's going to go up by 1. So it's actually going to show 1 here. I'm going to refresh. It's going to show 1 here. So even though there was no existing document before, the upsert functionality is smart enough to know that it's just going to insert it where it doesn't exist. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Yes, and I'll have a further look at that then after.
Yeah. So I mean, I highly recommend this way of doing your creating and editing because it's very flexible and you can do a lot of things with that. So for example, if I wanted to do reset, I would just go app.get reset, for example. Reset. And if I wanted to say, I just want to set the counter to 0. And I think that's it. And then I'll ping. So when I do the reset, I'm going to make this a multi-line function now. I'm also going to do the reset. And I don't need a post method. I just need to reset. So with all that said and done, I think this is a working counter with a nice backend. So let's refresh over here, and then click, reset to 0, and over here we should have a counter with a value of 0, as we see over here. Yay! Cool. That was actually the whole hour. I didn't really get to the React router, but hopefully that was a good. Hopefully that was something worth learning there with how to use the Mongoose ORM.
Yeah, it's a great way you can do it so quickly and change and fix the mistakes. Like,
yeah, like I feel like
I'd have to do it a bit slower now. To be honest.
Yeah. Well, yeah, part of coding is also learning how to fix all these mistakes. Oh, I have all these node modules here. Why do I have all these node modules? I don't need all these node modules. I should not be tracking any node modules. Why am I tracking node modules? I should be whatever, git admit, add. Okay, so that was I'm gonna say like add Mongoose. Why am I tracking node modules? This is so weird to me.
I need to do a yarn lock or something that you changed over.
Yeah, you think so?
I don't. I wouldn't. That's like
that would be the worst to me. I might have screwed that up. Okay, I might. Okay, no, yarn is good. I'm just gonna see what happens if I say add mongoose. Okay, whatever. And I'm going to. What am I going to do here? I'm going to try to deploy this to Heroku because I always want to end with a deployed app. I think that's always, people always forget to do that. And what am I doing here? I need to npm run build, and that's going to run the build. It's like we did yesterday. It's going to build the app that we just made. Should be relatively quick. And then since we've already hard coded all this, this is a bad idea, by the way. We should actually put this in an environment variable.
File. You have one on Heroku for that.
Exactly. So, I should actually delete this before I commit it to GitHub. process.env.mongodb. Obviously, it doesn't matter what you call it, but this is just a traditional method.
Yeah, I understand that project. Mine are run that way.
Do you know this part? Heroku set config?
Yeah, see, I have a .env file, so I won't have to worry about my passwords and stuff.
Right. I forgot the command for that. I think I have to log in first. Okay. Oh, geez, password manager. And then I think I can I just set the config like this? All right, let's see how to set configs with Heroku. Heroku set config. Because I like doing the command line if it's just like one thing. Do you know how to do that?
Anyway.
Config set. Okay. Okay, so that's set, and then Heroku git push Heroku, and instead of master here, because I'm deploying from my local add mongoose branch, so I'm going to say add mongoose to master, and because they always deploy from their master branch. So this is how you do, if you have different branches between your laptop versus Heroku. So hopefully this is going to work. Last time I fell over like 5 different times before I managed to get this working. Okay, so that's the app. And that was 1 hour. Jesus, I'm sorry it took so long. I needed more practice doing that. Yeah. So again, the working app. But now when we refresh, it doesn't do anything. Why? Why?
Check your database.
Yeah, it's the old version of the app. Look, it's not sending any requests when I go out. So I thought I built this. Oh, but it looks like, so when I built the thing, I need to commit all the stuff again. You see my mistake there?
Yeah, didn't commit.
Commit build files. Basically, because Heroku is not very good at building things. You can force it to, but it doesn't like doing anything build related. So that's the mistake I made there, and that should be it. I always have all these small little issues when I deploy. It's so annoying. But that's why you need more practice, right?
Well, that's it. Yeah, absolutely.
There we go. Okay. All right. Open Sesame. Let's go. Come on. Click, 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 click. Reset. Reset. Come on. I committed the files and I click. Yeah. All right. I click, click, click. And when I reload, there we go. There we go. Now it's persistent. Okay. There we go. All right.
Show up, isn't it?
I think it just wasn't linked to the database just yet. But yeah, now we have a publicly deployed thing. It's persistent and it's connected to our MLab instance, which I now have to change the username and password for. But that's but that's about it. Hopefully that I'm sure you've done that before, but this is a good sort of refresher.
I haven't used the upsert, so I'll have a look at that function now again.
Yeah, please do. I think people work very hard to implement these functionalities, but they're just not very good at communicating. So it's up to you to really read the docs and figure out what's helpful for you.
Trying with those documentations, and it's hell.
It's hell. But you could write your own docs. You could write your own quick start guides and stuff. I've just seen enough people's examples and tutorials that I can kind of hack it on my own, but I definitely haven't read the whole thing, right? Like no one has time to read the whole thing. But important things like upsert, you should probably know, so that you don't have to do like, oh, let me find by ID. If this ID exists, do this. If this ID does not exist, do that. Blah blah blah. This is all very standard stuff that the ORM. That's the job of Mongoose. It's an object relational mapper. It's supposed to help you do all this very, very low level stuff so that you can keep it high level. Like that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, we didn't get to React Router today, but it should be relatively easy. So my goal is to go from this, right, which is just like upvoting on one single poll, to creating multiple polls, and then having that voting functionality, and then using React Router to navigate between this. So I think that will be the focus for our next session.
That would cover a lot, all right, Jim.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, we'll speak again soon.
No problem. You just set the time, Darren.
All right, it'll probably be tomorrow, same time.
That's grand.
All right, I'm going to stop my own screen share, and I'll see you tomorrow, man.
Okay, take it easy.
Take it easy. Bye.